evening, we're going to be talking about, like I said, making more money in the month of May. That is what is on everybody's minds, because if you have been to the markets recently or anywhere to buy anything, you know that, man, you have to get a lot more income coming in. There's no way to even, deal with that one. And this evening to, break it all down for us and just give us some more tips and tricks, as she always does, is your personal finance girl. Oluchukwu, good evening. Great to have you once again on Personal Finance.
Hi, good evening. So happy to be here.
I love the energy you always bring.
Of course, I mean, your personal finance girl, financial. I mean, there's money. Come on. The energy is always there, if you know what I mean. Hope you've been having a great 2024. I mean, it is the 5th month of the year, and, so much has been going on. A lot of people out there, some have been gnashing their teeth. Some people are smiling to the bank, and so on and so forth. And knowledge, they say, is key. And we're always here to have these conversations and share that knowledge and pass that information, because the difference between Mr. A and Mr. B sometimes can be based on the information that each person actually has. And you can be part of Personal Finance this evening by sending your thoughts in on WhatsApp on 0809 440 981. 0809 440 981. That is the WhatsApp number. So any questions you might have, any thoughts you might have as well, come through and share them with us. Okay, so like I said earlier, it's the 5th month of the year. And looking at how everything is right now, Oluchukwu, how should you be looking at your finances on a public holiday that begins a brand new month?
So basically, it's the same way. You're supposed to be very meticulous with your money. So I know that when I said meticulous, you might have rolled your eyes and like, oh, what am I supposed to be doing? We just said the month. Come on, my salary just came in. But this is like the point where you should actually be ensuring that you're crossing the T's and dotting the I's, right? So you're supposed to ensure that at this point in time, you know exactly what you want to do throughout the month. It's a public holiday. I'm sure a lot of us will be stepping out later in the evening just to chill with our friends and whatnot. So before you go out, just take this as a reminder to know exactly how much you want to spend when you're going out, and be sure that you're not spending money you're supposed to be saving or investing, or the one you're supposed to even use to feed till the end of the month, right? So that is the way you should be looking at it. And another beautiful thing is you naturally don't have to wait till the beginning of the month before putting your finances in order. You don't exactly have to wait. Like from the last few days of the month, you should be checking, okay, what did I do this month? What can I do better next month? What's different? Am I going to be spending my evenings on the queues, or am I, like, you want to try out what exactly was different and how can you ensure that it's better in the coming month, so you're not stressed out. I love to talk about how you shouldn't be stressed out about your money. You're making this money, you're supposed to enjoy it, and one way to enjoy it is by telling it where to go, and you're the one directing the whole moving around. Yeah.
Interesting thoughts.
See, it's not aligning, because how am I making this money and I'm not allowed to spend it okay, so hear me out. I know that we're supposed to be calculative. It's the first day of the month. Plan for the month, even for the next month as they come. But you're not saying I should start already budgeting what I want to spend. Allow me to breathe. The economy is choking me already. So it's a public holiday. I need to fly.
I told you to go out now. You can go out.
I need my wings.
But know how much you want to spend when you're going out.
There's money in the account. Yeah. So I'm just
30 days.
You're the one looking at it like that.
The funny thing is, Joy, this your demeanor reminds me of years ago, back then in school. I mean, my group of friends, we used to call ourselves the BMF boys, when we go to hang out and all that. Yeah. BMF, of course, being blowing money fast.
Ooh. I was not expecting that.
I didn't see that one coming.
But of course, our buddies always told us after a night of hanging out, and then of course start counting all the pennies and everything. What are we going to eat today? Okay, you buy spaghetti, you buy pepper, you this and that. So listen to Oluchukwu as she's giving you all these tips and tricks.
And don't take it for granted. Anyway, so should one actually be spending while looking back at the financial decisions that they've made in the past 4 months, or looking forward at what decisions they need to make?
Yeah, so you need to look back, because when you look back, you have facts and numbers to tell you exactly what you were doing, or oh, I probably spent out of impulse, or there was this particular thing that happened that I could have done better when it comes to my money. So when you're now planning, or when you're now looking forward, you're using that knowledge already gathered from yourself, probably from your bank statement or from whatever you did last month, to now make better decisions, or informed, I like to say informed decisions, so that the next set of decisions, you get better as it comes. Nobody was born a guru. Most people actually trained themselves into whatever they are doing very well now. So when you're thinking about your money, you have to look at what worked before, and then what can I do better for the next time.
I get all that, but see, okay, so as at last month, I'm just going to, maybe February, getting into March, we were struggling with the dollar. Now we're struggling with fuel. So how am I supposed to make sense of, okay, so in the past, in the future, I'm bewildered by all those. The burden is plenty, and then you're not telling me, okay, go to the past. It's too much to work with. How do you now want me to break it all down and make sure that that money that has come in will still be able to sustain me, even while I'm having fun today, or looking at having fun, say, at the weekend?
So let me start with, not everything. If everything was really easy, then everybody will be doing it.
Okay.
So most of the time, we have to do some seemingly difficult things, and over time, when we continue doing them, they become easy. So the same way that every month has its different challenges, something always pops up. Are we not in Nigeria? Something would always pop up. But when you have like prior knowledge, that I like using the word, I like looking back at the past, because if you don't look back, you might end up making the same mistake over and over. So you might not even know that, you're giving your landlord all of your money. Right? But when you check and you're like, okay, this is what is taking a chunk of my money, can I get better with it? Then you're like, okay, I might want to go down on rent. So fine, there's always something different coming in, right? But then you have to know what has happened, and then you can now make better decisions. Because like I would always say that there's always something happening. It's not even our control. That's another thing. But the one that is in your control is being able to know how much is coming in, being able to tell it where you want it to go, and some other few things that are quite easy.
Okay.
You know what? Just listening to Oluchukwu talking about, going back into bank statements to take a look at spending patterns and all that. It's giving me that I know what you did last summer vibe. That's exactly what it's.
I don't even want to look at
that. For this, I've seen the movie. You know what I'm talking about. But hey, that is definitely one thing that it makes a lot of sense, because sometimes you feel you're probably in control of what's going on, but there are certain purchases you might make or spendings that could happen, and then you go back and you just look, wait, did I do that?
You did.
I would have said that in Steve Urkel's voice, but
did I do that?
Thank you for doing it. I appreciate it very, very
You're
greatly.
very welcome.
Okay, now
oh my goodness.
In the last couple of hours or days, the federal government of Nigeria, finally announced today that it is raising salaries of certain civil servants by 25 to 35%. Now, how exactly should one manage a salary increase? Because people sometimes think, okay, more money has come in now. I can afford to
do whatever I want to do.
Move to that new house, and so on and so forth. Should this be treated with the utmost seriousness
Yeah.
going forward.
So it's very important. I think I was talking to my colleague a few days ago, and we were talking about lifestyle inflation. So lifestyle inflation is something that happens whereby you're living okay on this particular money. Probably you're even struggling, but you find a way to wrap your hands around whatever you have. But then when an increase comes, all of your expenses go over the roof. And then in a few months, probably in the second month of receiving that new money that was suddenly big, you're wondering, what happened?
Where did all the money go?
Where did everything go to? So this is one thing we call lifestyle inflation. So now we might all be happy as civil servants that our salary is going to be increased. It will be implemented very soon. But please don't allow lifestyle creep to happen to you. So before the money comes in, you want to start thinking, okay, I've always wanted to do X, Y, Z. I've always wanted to build my house, or probably do whatever you want to do, right? You want to start planning before the money comes in, so you can tell whether you're saving 50% of the increment or you're using it to get that dream car. Like, you need to plan ahead so that when it comes in, you're able to tell exactly where it has gone to. Not wondering, why am I struggling 3 months after increasing my salary? Remember that this same salary you have been earning, we have been doing inflation inside. We have been doing transport, we have been doing everything. Is still in it, and you're able to survive. So don't think that another 35 or 50% increment is going to make a difference if you're not careful about it, or if you're not carefully watching whatever you're doing.
But isn't that you suffering yourself?
No, it's not.
This adulting and increase in salary shouldn't even happen, because why am I not having the opportunity to live as I want to? I have been managing, let me put it this way, on that tiny one, and then to the increase. That means I should have a breather, be able to dip my hand in and say, oh, okay, so today is soya, baby soya. Tomorrow is chicken soya. I should be able to take that soda that I like, or that fruit juice over there. So why am I having to, the increase is there.
It's there. And what happens is, when you keep taking every other thing you've always wanted, you will end up in that same cycle again of the money not being enough. So I'm not saying you should completely starve yourself of every good thing that you want. I always preach comfort. I love comfort. So do not starve yourself of everything you've always wanted, but be sure that you're making an informed decision. That's the only way to work.
All right. Okay. Since we're there,
I'm just here laughing at you, Joy, because that same hand you're using to dip into the money to enjoy yourself. It's the same hand you used to carry your spoon and drink your Gary, which isn't even cheap anymore these days.
It's not cheap.
It is absolutely mind-boggling, that Gary that people used to look at as, when you're broke, have some Gary. Oh no, not that way anymore. But hey, this is why we're here, to have these conversations and, of course, talk about how we can do the best with what we have, and also do the best with extra money that actually come in. And we'll continue the conversation on the other side of this quick breather. Don't go anywhere. Personal finance right here on the Smooth Drive on Smooth 98.1. We'll continue. Your personal finance girl is still with us in the studio.
It's all about your finances made easy, because financial education is about not working for money. Personal
Choppy,
finance
they
on
spend
Smooth
this
98.1.
money. And you spend it, finish.
Something you come back and to the next level of goodness.
Ayo is there. I'm going to borrow 2K.
This is when it is cooked with
Will you bring it to work?
sumptuous taste.
What's that? The 2K. Don't worry.
Which I
Correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrots, lettuce, and a bit of kidney
Don't be proud. Don't be
beans.
proud.
It's both.
Don't be proud,
Season
bro.
your
I want to
jollof
know.
with the rich taste
I'm sure that
of
is not my own
non-chicken
ayo.
It's you now. Is there another ayo?
and your vegetables. So, go
Ayo is
ahead
there. Just
and elevate
Go to Manila Odeku, shout ayo like 10 people will answer yes.
good.
Thank you.
It's
Bro,
all
thank you.
about your finances made easy.
From where?
Financial education
Mayo.
is about
Personal
personal finance on Smooth 98.1.
that shall not deny thy partner.
Studio. 31 minutes past 5 p.m. It is a hump of the week Wednesday, Workers' Day Wednesday as well, on your Smooth Drive on Smooth 98.1. We're in the zone talking about your money and personal finance. My name is Ayokumi. Joy is also right here in the studio with me, as well as our very, very special guest in the person of your personal finance girl. And we're talking about making more money in the month of May, because May is a money making month. And we've been looking at different issues, talking about how to take a look back at spending from previous months and make adjustments where necessary. Also, how to deal with increases in salaries as well, and how one can avoid falling into that trap of increased lifestyle spending and so on and so forth. And you can come through with your thoughts on this particular matter. Talk to us on WhatsApp on 0809 440 981. 0809 440 981 is the WhatsApp number. So any question you might have, any comments you might have, any tip of your own as well that you might have, we'd love to hear that, because we learn from each other at the end of the day.
And talking about learning from each other, and I want to actually ask you, our personal finance girl, why is it, or is it actually a thing when they say it's a public holiday? You see most people running about, it's time to dip our hands into our pockets and flex a little. Like you actually noted earlier, you said once it's evening time, some people will hang out with their friends and all have what have not. But is it more difficult to spend on public holidays than it is to spend on a regular day?
It's pretty much the same. So the difficulty depends on what plans you already had. And like I said earlier, I know that a lot of people would rather just want to unwind. It's a public holiday. You don't have to go to work. There's literally no traffic on the road. So you just want to go to the nearest cafe or, bar or lounge just to see your friends and chat.
Can't we see in the house and just talk?
Well, a couple of people might do a movie hangout in-house, but then you're definitely going to get drinks. You're going to get popcorn or something. You're not going to host your friends without giving them anything. You're a good person now. Why would you give only water? So things like that.
I can't even give you food because
Wow.
I'm just, just being real.
Okay, but even though it's pretty much the same, there's no, I don't see any difficulty. It just depends on what you plan to do.
Okay.
So if you were going to the office, you definitely would have paid your transportation.
Okay.
If you were going to the lounge, you're definitely going to get some drinks or food.
True.
If you're at home too, you're going to prepare something sumptuous. So it depends on what you want to do and to what extent.
All right. Okay. I like the fact that she said to what extent.
Exactly, because there's probably always that temptation to want to quote unquote ball on the same level, but anyone who goes out often would know that now the ball is getting smaller, from a basketball getting smaller to a volleyball, tennis ball, golf ball, and so on and so forth, in terms of what the amount of monies that you need to spend and so on and so on. So going out having fun, it's a good thing, but this is probably where, Triple is saying, there needs to be some level of common sense being applied. Make adjustments at the end of the day.
Indeed.
Okay, so you've talked a lot about planning ahead, and of course, planning ahead is something that is very important in different spheres of life, in your money, your personal life, work, and all that. So, can you just walk us through the process of preparing a budget, which is something that you have spoken about a lot, and it's very important when it comes to your finances?
Okay, so let's start from understanding what a budget is. So I would always love to say a budget is telling your money exactly where you want it to go. So how do you tell your money exactly where you want it to go? You need to know what you spend your money on. That is trying to track your expenses. I saw someone here who was saying that, why is it difficult to track your expenses? It's not exactly difficult. You could have like a reminder on your phone, a daily alarm that pops up and say, okay, write down how much you spent today. That's one way to do it. Or you could do it weekly. Write how much you spent, or check your debits, see how much you withdrew throughout the week, so you can know, okay, this is what I'm spending on. So you need to be able to track your expenses. You don't even need to categorize them yet. Just be able to write them down or see what has gone out in red. So the next thing we want to then do is, okay, we know our income. So let us try and match both of them together. Put them side by side. Your income minus your expenses. Are you spending more than you earn? Or is there something that you are doing differently that is making that money look a bit higher? So that is the other part. When you know how much you spend and how much you earn, then we can now tell, is it positive? Is it a positive figure? It can actually be negative for those who spend above their income. Then is it negative? What can I do? So you now want to understand what has happened in your expenses. So we have to now come back to the expenses and tell ourselves, okay, in my expenses for this month, did I spend all my money on food? Did I spend all my money on transportation? Did I spend all my money on giving? You want to know, and that would help you then now realize, okay, this is what I should be doing with my money. So we've literally just made a budget. So we found out how much we have been spending. We found out how much we have been earning, and we matched them together and separated, okay, what exactly do I spend my money the most on? So I'd love to use figures. So let me use figures for people to understand. I want to go and check. So let's say you're earning 250,000. And then at the end of the month, you wrote down all of your expenses, and your expenses are 170,000. So it means that you have 80,000 naira left. So what do you do with that 80,000? This is the point where you hear about saving 20% of your income, or saving 10% of your income. You could do any of that with that, or you could decide that, I have debt to pay off. I want to use from that remnant to pay off my debt. So these are like, my income is 250k, my expense is 170k. Okay, so I have 80k left. What do I do with the 80k? So I can start investing, I can start saving, I can start paying off my debt. So this is pretty much making a budget. It's not more complicated than this. I hope you get.
Yeah. So, say for instance, you have all that budget, and you know how much you earn, but on the side you have maybe benefactors that decide, okay, every month or every 2 months they add a certain amount to your, they gift you certain amounts.
Do you have one of those people? Please let me know so I can move in with you.
Please, our benefactors, come through.
The Nigerian dream.
So where do you put this, and how do you balance your books?
Okay, so it depends on you. I'll say it depends on you, because like you said, it might not be consistent. Probably month 1 they give, month 2 they don't. Probably by month 3 they are tripling the amount they gave you in month 1. Please.
All these benefactors. Come through.
So what do you do with that kind of amount? You also have to account for it under your income. So then we now have to now look at, okay, do you have goals? Are there things you want to do? So you can now look at, okay, this extra funds, if it comes in, I could probably use it. Remember that we're not even sure if it's consistent, except for some people who know that they would always get a top up from whoever every single month. Then you can now plan with that the actual amount. But for those of us that don't get it consistently, or don't even get it at all, just in case it comes, what you should do with the money is move it towards a particular thing that has always been on your list, always been on your goals, so you're able to tick it off faster. And let's see, by September you've crossed out all of the goals you have for 2024. You're a big person now. We move to 2025.
Fast forward.
Fast forward.
I like that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so now that we're in the month of May, of course, we've already tagged it as the money making May, and I'm expecting to see a lot of those hashtags all around and all that. You know how as Nigerians we're so quick to have all those hashtags and all those affirmations and all that, money making May, this and that. How important are all these side hustles and earning extra income right now, seeing as we're trying to keep our finances as boosted as possible?
I cannot overemphasize the importance of making more money. See, have you ever had a problem for making more money? Tell me the truth. No, tell me. No. So if you have the opportunity to, or you have the bandwidth to make more money, probably have side hustles, then you should definitely do it, as long as it's not taking a lot from you. And let's say the stress is what's the value you're getting. Of course, you should. Please go ahead. So it's very important that we should have extra income coming in, because I think I read something yesterday about how a reminder that you can, if you're earning 100k, you can only cut your expenses to 100k. But if you're earning 1 million, in fact, there's no limit to how much you can earn. Look at our billionaires. There's no limit to how much you can make. So please, if you have the bandwidth, why not? Please go ahead and make some extra cash.
Okay, so but there's still, even those trying to, hustle. There's still some individuals that don't know how to hustle. How do they, find that niche for themselves? Or what exactly do you advise for those who, so they like a certain thing, but they don't know how to make money for them? And there are certain individuals who know how to make money for themselves, but they don't even know how to go about it.
Okay. So for that, let's say you're interested in making, or let's start from people that don't even know where to start from. Let's say you want to make some extra cash and you don't know where to start from. We can start with understanding what you like. Is it that you like providing services, or you like making products? Is it that you have a particular skill that can be monetized? When we now move to the people that have these skills but are not even sure of how to make money from it. So there are one or two things. You want to go ahead to look for people that are already doing this particular thing. Let's say you crochet, you're a badass crocheter and you're not sure how to sell. Look for people that already sell. Look for people that already have this crochet business and see if you can shadow them or ask them to guide you. And then if you don't want to go through that route, you can actually go ahead to take courses on these things, on how to sell. So when you start reading books, watching videos, listening to people talk about how they make money or how they sell, like the psychology of selling, then you're able to now start practicing this thing from probably just selling one bottle of Coke. Probably just telling somebody, I can type for you, I'll you pay me just 100 naira now. Oh, not 100, that's too small. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, so something like that would eventually lead you into those side hustles or rather another extra source of income that you have always look forward to. And then some people could just decide that, I want to get another side hustle, so they're going full blown into businesses while keeping their 9-to-5 or their former entrepreneurship that they've been doing. It's a way for you to also bring in extra revenue or income rather.
It's actually very interesting that you bring up this issue of people who are trying to find what it is that they like and try to monetize it. It always brings up a very, very different thought in my head. And I've asked this question of different people at different times, but you're here right now, so I definitely will be asking the question before we round up the conversation. When it comes to looking at what an individual likes, and I'm good at this, I can play video games, I can be a gamer, this and that. Now, where do you stand in terms of people who look at looking at the world right now, what exactly is making a lot of money? What field is lucrative? And even though they don't have all that much interest in that field, but because, man, I know that I can make bank from here, they still go ahead anyway, like a means to an end sort of thing. Now, where do you stand on that sort of attitude, as opposed to looking at what they like and making it work for them in terms of making money?
This question. Personally, I don't have an issue with people going after what they do not like. But I love to do what I love. Like, I would rather do something I really enjoy and look for the best way to optimize to get more income from it. However, because we are in a different climate, there's some things that no matter how much you put into it, will not bring in as much results as in a different climate. So it now leaves the person who is in that situation to decide, do you want to keep earning less to enjoy what you're doing? Let's say it's a side hustle or it's your 9-to-5, or you want to go after something for a particular period. Just give yourself a target. Let's say for the next 10 years, you want to do this particular thing and it has this amount of potential, and you go ahead, and after that, you can come back to whatever you like. Because at the end of the day, you're putting in as much energy. So there are some of us that don't like stress. We just want to be okay. Like, as long as there's food on our table, we are fine. But there's some other people who have this drive that they want as much as possible, as much as is humanly possible for them. So if I'm talking to that kind of person, obviously that person doesn't mind doing what they don't like for another 5-15 years to get as much as possible before probably retiring. They eventually don't retire, but then even though. But personally, I would go with what I like and optimize to get the best value out of it.
All right.
And the reason to have now.
My name is Anne-Marie and you're listening to